smart city. Just now in the inaugural session,
Okay.
sir, some disturbances are there. Just now in the inaugural session. Yeah, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Please go ahead, sir.
Yeah. We just heard Dr. Shukla on his varied experience on energy conservation, utilization, and schemes for the smart city as regard to the sustainability of the environment. So here I am approaching this subject with slightly a different perspective. Ultimately, the urbanization is everyone knows that urbanization is rapidly growing, village area is shrinking, and India ranks 131 out of 188 countries. So we have the world's largest number of people. And this is the United Nations Development Program, their survey in 2016. Rate of urbanization is increasing everywhere in the world. And overall, about 69% of the population is living in rural area still. But they aspire to migrate to the urban areas for the betterment of their life. So surely the urban population is going to increase. And once the urban population is going to increase, then we have the many more challenges in the coming years, especially to housing, the infrastructure, service delivery. So this migration of the rural to urban area is basically the lack of attention to educate rural development in the past by we people. Now to overcome this problem, how to accommodate all the migrating populations who are job seekers and going to become the residents of the cities, we need to adopt some disruptive technologies and some different approaches. So the term smart technology, this will help the cities to sustain the growth and improve the efficiency for the welfare of the citizens and efficiency in the governance in urban areas for the coming years. So the demand of the smart city has increased in this way. All over world, the demand is increasing. We are not the exceptions. And this dramatic development is ultimately due to the fact that people are choosing their fate. Means they design their own life in cities. So this rising urbanization has greater challenges. People's need and demand must be met in a ways that go easy on environment. That is the very first thing. Everyone is aware that climate change is the very pressing issue presently, and especially the CO2 emissions, which we often talk about, and media is also very much vocal on this issue. All the educated mass is quite aware that CO2 emissions are increasing as we are using more energy. So measures we need to take is just to reduce and control the global warming. Global warming has resulted in the frequent floods, heat waves, and the greenhouse gases, which is the result of CO2 emissions all over the world, is responsible for all these calamities. So the cities are the major polluters as they consume more energies. Almost it is estimated that 40% of the energies alone is consumed by the buildings or the built masses. So ultimately the cities has to come forward to provide the solutions. So climate change is the biggest issue. Then as we have the cutthroat competition amongst all the countries to come in merit of each other's economies, means we have to become rich and richer and provide comfort to our people. So now with this discomfortable position of rising energy cost and global warming, the enterprises which are offering IT, environmental and energy services, they have to become a driving force for smart economies to function. Smart economics means it will support the education, qualification, research, and entrepreneurial spirit, including innovation and productivity, with proper flexibility to their aspiring population. Continuous knowledge acquisition and transfer at all the local and global networks are the main ingredients for smart economies to function. Smart economies demand smart resource management. Am I visible, ma'am? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is visible, sir.
The slides are coming out?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
No, because in my end it was stopped. So just I asked, ma'am. So these
Yes,
smart
sir.
economies will demand for the smart resource management. Smart resource management means whatever resource we have got, we have to use it judiciously, means reducing the energy and raw material consumptions, supply and demand system, disposal system, and smart grids for smart energy consumption. We need intelligence network, at the same time monetary systems, and we have to be cautious about the energy generation, their storage and consumption. A just small example is the smart metering, which was talked about some little time before in the inaugural session by our keynote speaker also. So unless the things are measured, we cannot control. So the metering of energy is a must. Now let us think about the working of smart city. The smart cities utilize their web of connected IoT services or IoT devices, I mean, with the other technologies. IoT means Internet of Things. Internet of Things are the physical items, our machineries, our facilities which are connected with Internet. Everyone is aware of the use of Internet, wireless system, and newer communication technologies. So in the working of a smart city, it has become indispensable tool. And this is the only way available to utilize the IoT services and move ahead. This will ultimately result in a high quality of life to the residents. It will have the ability to facilitate increased delivery of services to the citizens, of course, with lesser cost, lesser infrastructure. This will accommodate the increasing population by making more efficient use of their infrastructure assets. So a successful smart city have to follow the 4 steps. First is the collection. Collection, I mean smart sensors throughout the city, which will gather the data in real time. Those gathered data will have the analysis, means data collected by the smart sensors will be assessed in order to draw meaningful insights. Then communication, whatever insights we have found with the analysis of the data, they are to be communicated well with decision makers through strong communication networks. And finally, the actions. So cities will use these data and their experiences to create the solutions, optimize their operations, optimize their asset management, and improve the quality of life for the residents. Now the technology framework for a smart city, Internet of Things, this will be used along with the variety of softwares using their interfaces and communication networks. Internet of Things is a network of connected devices that communicate and exchange the data. This can include anything from a vehicle, a machine, to home appliances, on-street sensors. So a smart city relies heavily on in deployment of technology. This is very important, that we need to adopt the fail-safe technology. Different combinations of technologies in infrastructure, they will interact with each other to form the array of smart city technologies with varying level of interaction between human and technological systems. Now, the smart city technologies which are beforehand with us, the common technologies which is adopted world over for making their cities smart or local administration smart to deliver good services to their citizens and meeting to their aspirations are a digital city. It's a connected community that combines broadband communication and innovative services to meet the needs of the government and their employees, citizens, businessmen. This is one type. Then intelligent, such as artificial intelligence and machine learning. These technologies can be trained on the data generated by connected city devices to identify the efficiency and impact of a particular policy decision. A ubiquitous city or U-city is the extension of digital city. That is in terms of accessibility, greater accessibility, greater public service to the connected devices. And a wired city. This environment provides general access to continually updated digital and physical infrastructure. So if there is a no infrastructure about the wireless access, then the wired city will work. So this way we have the tools available to in IoT and artificial intelligence and communication technology to serve our cities better. Now, what should be the features of the smart city? The first thing is that since the mobility is to be restricted, so we need mixed use land plan. And that is on the area-based development, planning for unplanned areas. Whatever comes in future and whatever comes which is not anticipated in our work. So we can accommodate in the mixed use pattern, it containing a range of compatible activities and land uses close to each another to make it more efficiently and deliver. The states have to enable such flexibility in land use, and accordingly they have to amend their building bylaws to adopt the change. Second thing is housing and inclusiveness. So we need to expand the housing opportunities for all. Third will be creating walkable localities. So just to reduce the congestion, air pollution, resource depletion, the road network is required to be created or refurbished, not only for vehicles and public transport, but also for pedestrians, cyclists. And necessary administrative services have to be offered within walking, cycling distances. Preserving and developing open spaces. Naturally, when we will be contained within the small spaces, we will have the availability of more open spaces. Only thing is we need the proper preservation. So the parks, playgrounds, recreational spaces, these will be required to enhance the quality of the life of citizens, reduce the urban heat island effect in areas, and generally to promote the eco-balance. We smart city need to promote a variety of transport options, transit-oriented development, public transport, and last mile para-transport connectivity. Then smart city needs making governance citizen-friendly and cost-effective. Increasingly rely on online services to bring about accountability and transparency. using mobiles to reduce the cost of services and providing services without having to go to the municipal offices. Giving identity to the city will be additional bonus based on its main economic activities, such as the local cuisine, health, education, arts and craft, culture, sports, goods, furniture, hosiery, textile, dairy, etc. And applying the smart solutions to infrastructure and devices in area-based development to make them better. So these features should be there in a smart city. The core infrastructure element of the smart city, which will function after adopting those features, and with the support of IoT and ICT, means Internet of Things and information and communication technology and digital platform, will be the city should have the adequate water supply. It should have assured electricity supply. It should have the proper sanitation, which includes the solid waste management. It should have very efficient and good urban mobility with public transport. It should have affordable housing, especially for the poor and marginal classes who serve the city round the clock. It should have, of course, robust IT connectivity and digitalization, without which city functions will not be effectively controlled and monitored. Good governance is a key, and so the e-governance and citizen participation, of course. Sustainable environment is the first and foremost priority, since the population will be rising, and to check the control emissions and pollutions, we need the sustainable environment. So our each activity must be checked with sustainability point of view. Safety and security of the citizens, particularly women, children, and elderly, for the society to function and grow, and health and education for all. So these core infrastructure elements of the smart city needs to be upgraded or provided. If it is deficient, we need to clear it. Now, with the international experience, the Indian government's focus on smart city initiation. Let us discuss something on that, because our main topic is on our country and our place, means local. The smart city mission, smart cities mission, as it is known in the government parlance, and almost all citizens are aware about this. Objective is to promote the cities which provide core infrastructure and gives a decent quality of life, clean and sustainable environment with the application of smart solutions. The focus is on sustainable and inclusive development. An idea is to look at compact areas. Compact area is easily manageable. The idea is to create a replicable model. Once you are successful, naturally, so many will follow the suit. And this will act as a lighthouse or other aspiring cities. Means your success stories shared with the fellows and other users will guide them. The smart city mission of the government is thus a very bold and new initiative. It is meant to set examples that can be replicated both within and outside the smart city. So the smart city area, although it is smaller and have confined boundaries, but the success story of the same can be replicated outside the city, means in the periphery or somewhere else having the similar geological or geographical conditions, similar climatic conditions, and of course the mindset of the public. So it will catalyze the creation of similar smart cities in various regions and other parts of the country. Now, purpose of the smart city mission. The purpose is to drive economic growth, improve the quality of life of the people, and enabling local area development. Harnessing the technology, especially the technology that leads to smart outcomes. And of course, accommodating influx of the population, and aspirant citizen of the future. So India's smart city mission was launched by Government of India in June 2015 to create 100 smart cities in 5 years. The target was by 2020, which was later amended. It is one of the several urban schemes launched by India's current government at the center. And the goal was to improve the quality of life in Indian cities. Now the smart city mission has the statements and guidelines. The smart city has not been very clearly defined by the government in any official document. That indicates that a smart city will include the following. So clearly there is no one single definition of smart city, but Indian smart city mission essentially include the following facilities like adequate water supply, assured electricity, sanitation, efficient urban mobility, affordable housing, robust information technology, good governance with the citizens' participation, sustainable environment, safety and security of citizens, health and education for all. Now, which city will become smart? So government developed a detailed process for the selection and completion of smart cities based on a multi-stage competition format. I think everyone is aware about this. Between June and July 2015, all Indian states and union territories submitted nominations of cities for consideration in India Smart City Challenge. Amongst submissions, the Ministry of Urban Development, which later merged with the Ministry of Housing and Urban Poverty, affiliation, to form the new Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, MOHUA, in 2017, shortlisted 100 cities in August 2015. The selection criteria gave equal weightage to the urban population of the state and union territories and the number of statutory towns in 22 states. The Smart City Mission guidelines provided direction for the development of the smart city proposal. Proposal for an identified area with either a retrofitting or redevelopment or greenfield development feature or a mix, as well as a pan city feature with smart solution. This proposal was called. These include electronic service delivery, renewable source of energy, integrated multimodal transport, telemedicine, and teleeducation. Retrofitting is the planning of an existing built-up area to make the area more efficient and livable. Focus area should be at least 500 acres. These were the guidelines. Redevelopment plan was the replacement of existing built-up environment, creation of new layout with enhanced infrastructure, using mixed land use and increased density. The focus area allowed was about 50 acres. Greenfield development, a smart solution in a previously vacant area. Means it was enlargement of a city to accommodate the future population and more population. The focus area should be at least 250 acres. Alternatively, a pan city development. Pan city development was the application of selected smart solution to the existing city-wide infrastructure. So for pan city development, anyone can choose the entire city without having any limitation, but smart solution has to be applied to the entire infrastructure available to the city. Now, in January 2016, the government announced 20 cities as winners from the first phase of Smart City Challenge. Some 4-5 months later, in May 2016, the government released the second list of an additional 13 cities, which were selected on a fast-track basis and which was to be included in the first phase of the mission. So these 33 cities from the two lists were to receive funding in order to be developed as a model smart city. In September 2016, the second round of Smart City Challenge started. The government announced the third list of 27 additional cities, bringing the number of selected smart city proposal to 60 in total. In June 2017, in the third round of the challenge, the fourth list of smart cities released the names of next 30 cities. And finally, in January 2018, the ministry announced 9 new smart cities as part of the fourth round of selection under the Smart Cities Challenge, bringing the total 98 cities. The timeline for the implementation of the smart city missions are shown in this chart. Round 1 was to be completed within 2020 to 21. Second round cities to be completed in the same tenure. Round 3 declared cities was to be completed in 2021 to 21-22, and fourth round of course has the time, and it will go up to 2022 and 23. This was the timeline. This slide particularly shows the location of these selected 99 cities across the India, situated in various states and union territories. And I think the participants can make out the towns. Mostly they know with respect to geographical location. Of course, the letters are very small, but still, I believe they will be able to make it out. Hello? 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 Hello?
Hello. Yes.
Am I
Yes, sir.
audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Some more disturbance was coming now. Anyway, the financing of these smart cities has also been declared with annual budgetary allocation for the mission by Government of India. And of course, since the inception or start, the budget allocation in the first year itself was 31%. Probably it was for the study at the time of declaration. Next, in 15-16, it rose to almost 9% of the total budget. Then in 16-17, it became 14%. 17-18, it became 18%. And 18-19, it has a 28%. So the budget was allotted in this manner. Financial model for the smart city missions. This is just to show the central and state government is sharing around 44% of the total budget. Others will be convergence, means the expenditures spent by the your local bodies in other heads can be saved on account of this smart city activity, and those 21% can be brought together to bring in more finance. Similarly, public-private partnership, we can attract 21% and some miscellaneous other expenses. So this way, it was estimated that we can meet out the goals and achieve. At the same time, the mission also directs the convergence with other related policies, which was existing at the time of declaration of a smart city mission, like Atal Mission for Rejuvenation and Urban Transformation, popularly known as AMRUT. So this is the urban renewal program. This was also launched in 2015, and the aim was to provide 500 cities in the country with upgradation and creation of physical infrastructure, mostly in water supply, sewerage, drainage, transport, and the green space. Similarly, other scheme of Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, means Housing for All 2022. This was also a national scheme that aims to provide housing for the economically weaker section and low income group with a target of 10 million houses, which was revised in 2017 from the proposed target of 20 million houses in 2015. So this target was reduced in urban areas and 30 million houses in the rural areas by the year 2022. So this scheme has also to be converged with the Smart City Mission, Swachh Bharat Mission Abhiyan, which is a Clean India mission, a national scheme to address sanitation and cleanliness in India, including through the construction of toilets in order to make the India open defecation free, popularly known as ODF, by 2019. Then the National Heritage City Development and Augmentation Yojana, HRIDAY, HRIDAY. This scheme aimed at inclusive urban planning and conservation of heritage cities. Then Digital India program, it is again a national scheme to provide increased digital access and internet connectivity to the citizen of India. Proposal of all smart cities are required to contain convergence agenda in their application form, specifying the scheme or program that the project aim to access funding from. Means all these programs which were already declared apart from Smart City Mission, they have certain budget allocations, and those budgets can be attracted by Smart City Mission if selected from that program. So in the application format itself, government asked to mention the name of the program and the manner in which this convergence is expected to be achieved. Now the mechanism for implementation of the Smart City Mission. Government recommended a special purpose vehicle, SPV, to be established as a limited company incorporated under the Companies Act 2013 at the city level, in which the state or union territories and the urban local bodies will be the promoters, and they will have 50-50% equity shareholding. Then the private sector or financial institutions could also be considered for taking equity stakes in the special purpose vehicle, providing the shareholding pattern of 50-50 of the state undertaking and the urban local bodies is maintained. And the state or union territories and the ULB together have the majority shareholding, just to have a control on special purpose vehicle. The website of the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs states that the 92 out of the 99 selected cities have already created special purpose vehicle. So this automatically tells the success story in stage 1. Now, mechanism for monitoring the Smart City Mission. How to monitor the progress and guide a national level apex committee, which consists of representatives of related union ministries and the concerned organizations, principal secretaries of the state, chief executive officers of the special purpose vehicles. They will approve the proposals for the mission and monitor their progress and release the funds. Then simultaneously, a national mission directorate will develop implementation roadmap, coordinate with the stakeholder, oversee capacity building, and assist in hand-holding of a special purpose vehicle, urban local bodies and state governments. So it is a parallel monitoring system at the national level. At state level, a high power steering committee, which consists of the representative of the state governments and departments, they will monitor the mission, including reviewing of the smart city proposal. And at city level also, which is very important for the public participation view, a smart city advisory forum, which will be created to enable collaboration between various stakeholders. This forum will include the city mayor, member of parliament, member of legislative assembly, CEO of the SPV, member of non-government organizations, technical experts, and the local youth. So this was a mechanism formed and suggested for monitoring the smart city mission. Now, analysis of selected smart city proposals. So cities which were selected as smart cities were those on the basis of which is scored on the basis of existing service level, their institutional capabilities, and past track records. This was formed the basis of selection of smart cities. Out of 99 selected cities, 70 cities are classified as class 1 cities with a population over 1 lakh by definition of the census of India, of course. 9 cities have a population below 1 lakh, and 20 cities are million plus urban agglomerations, means some 10 lakhs and above. Such a vast difference. Only 9 cities have been selected from 7 northeastern states of the country. These have the lesser populations and lesser areas. Focus area of the smart city proposals were each smart city proposal consists of the 2 components. The first component is area-based development, and about 80% of the smart city focus and funding is on these area-based development. So the selected cities have the proposed projects related to redeveloping neighborhoods, city centers or business districts, creating public spaces, and retrofitting infrastructure such as sanitation and water supply. Second component of pan city development means the entire existing city. This includes the initiatives that are mostly limited to IT projects, including smart solutions for traffic management and CCTV surveillance. An assessment of all smart city proposals reveal that the positive components are largely within the ambit of innovative ideas for formulating technology solutions, developing renewable energies, promoting environmental sustainability, and building resilience of the city. Means city can sustain the new things, adopt the new things, and people will be adhered with the new changes. Some of the major areas of the focus of the selected smart cities: harnessing renewable energy and green solutions. All smart city had to ensure 10% of the city's electricity supply through solar energy. So town Bhubaneswar has proposed a solar city program, which is expected to generate 11 megawatts of energy supply, about 11% of the city's energy consumption by 2020. You proposes to expand the renewable energy base of the city by way of wind power and expansion of city's solar power units. So we are just going through what all cities has to offer for the entire country to learn what they proposed. So this will be a key learning. Even we belong to the city which is neither a smart city group or any other group, but in future, since I believe that listeners of these programs are teachers and they will be guiding their students, so they will have an idea how the demands come from various quarters and how to meet the demand. So this is just a study of their proposals. Sustainable development with a focus on disaster mitigation. It was again a focus area. So Guwahati proposed the retrofitting of contiguous area of connected water bodies. I believe Guwahati, as everyone knows, have number of water bodies, and the flood is the recurring phenomena in the city. So they have come out with a novel idea of interconnecting water bodies. So their main concern was the mitigation of flood. So disaster mitigation was a focus with a sustainable development. Bhubaneswar, they committed to deploy the disaster risk reduction strategy. So whatever is the disaster risk in the city due to the new style of life, so future proofing sub plans they have made to the different localities. Salem has planned to create a zero emission zone to reduce the carbon footprint for sustainable development. This will also regenerate the urban system and ensure safe and inclusive development and minimize the vulnerability. Shimla has a target to provide for the active emergency management system which is focused on the prevention, preparedness, and recovery. Recently, we have seen the Shimla, the problem of the hill towns of the country. So the active emergency management system, Shimla has opted. Development of the smart technology and governance. This was also a focus area. So many smart cities are focusing on key technologies like automatic water ATMs, which we commonly say. Instead of bottle and putting the liters and plastic cans, we can directly collect the usable water in the commercial areas and such areas where we cannot carry our own water. LED lights to replace the existing street lights. Then the pelican crossing in three-dimensional zebra crossings. Three-dimensional zebra crossings are the illusions which prevent the default, or I can say the discipline at the our especially the red light areas. People are so desperate that they don't wait to become it green. For them, they have adopted. Then the street furnitures, which is mostly absent, Wi-Fi networks, CCTV cameras, environment sensors, rooftop solar panels in photovoltaic and heating applications, digital libraries at city level, and mechanized waste management system. So this was also one of the focus area. Naya Raipur, a greenfield development, they aimed world-class integrated city with a focus on safety, reliability, efficiency, sustainability, and connectivity of citizens. We shall leverage the advancement in the Internet of Things, mobility, sensing, analytics, and cyber security technology. Bengaluru has proposed the idea of common mobility card. This card can be used by citizens for a cashless travel across all public transport. Similarly, Amravati, Dehradun, Thiruvananthapuram, Visakhapatnam, they have focused on promoting good governance. Now, certain cities has focused on transit development, the sustainable transport option. So, to improve the mobility and making the transit-oriented development, means basically the road network will be strengthened by the government agencies. Rest all developments will happen in a organic manner or with the public participation. So Ludhiana is improving its transport facilities, including non-motorized transport. Streets in the identified areas are redesigned to accommodate more vehicles and pedestrian friendly, and they have the dedicated bicycle track in proposal. Auto rickshaws are to be replaced by electric rickshaws. Bhopal, Pune, Bhubaneswar, Bengaluru, and Chennai also adopted a public bicycle sharing system to develop a sustainable urban transport. Means you need not to carry your bicycle all the time. For the short distances and travel in bits and pieces, you can pick up the bicycle and drop it in the next stand. Someone else will utilize for the next journey. So this way, it will reduce the traffic congestion. Shimla on the revamping of entire road network. Earlier, it was developed in the olden times, pre-independence. So the same road network with little maintenance or increment was being used till date. Now they are revamping the entire network city. City is going to be come in a new look through widening and strengthening of the existing roads and retrofitting of the circular road and 3 transit corridors. Many smart city proposals came with economic development and tourism. So Muradabad aims to become a business brand with brass and develop an artisans manufacturing hub. Muradabad is already famous for the brass. Bareilly is to make the city a manufacturing hub for Jari handicrafts and Manja and Surma crafts. It is a local craft developed and internationally acclaimed now. Agra, Ajmer, Amritsar, Aurangabad, Diu, Gwalior, Kohima, Tanjore, Tirupati, Ujjain, Varanasi, and Vellore. These cities wanted to develop sustainable heritage culture and tourism. To promote their cities, as tourist destinations. Jalandhar has this strategic focus on developing a sports city. Kota wants to create enabling facilities for the support system for residents, students who study in various coaching centers in the city. Some cities wanted improved infrastructure and housing. Bilaspur, Coimbatore, Erode, Gandhinagar, Imphal, Indore, Nagpur, Naya Raipur, and Patna. They are more focused towards the livability and emphasized on development of social infrastructure for the urban poor, leading to a higher quality of life for all citizens. And redeveloping slums with revamped equitable services based on a participatory development model. Dehradun, Jhansi, Muzaffarpur, Puducherry, Rajkot, Raipur, Satna, Thiruvananthapuram, Tirupur, Thoothukudi, and Trichy. They envisaged a livable, slum-free, and inclusive city. They proposed slum redevelopment and infrastructure improvement to raise the quality of life. Indore has a focus on improved access to health by development of a 50-bedded smart health facility and smart education by providing Wi-Fi connectivity, smart classrooms, and facilities in all high schools. Patna focuses on school and health infrastructure, especially targeting increased attendance of girls in school. Now, the area-based development and Pan City initiatives, almost 80% of the total proposed investment in smart city is going in area-based development. So Pune ranked the second best smart city contender. 76% of the total fund is to be channelized into development of approximately only 1% of the total smart city. This is just to get an idea that smart city proposals, their investments, how it is going to impact our real life. It needs to be quantified in our mind. The purpose is presenting this slide is same. Bhubaneswar, more than 90% of the funds is going to be diverted for developing less than 3% of the total city. So these are the areas in the city that consist of the residential complexes for higher income groups. The one who can afford to pay additional revenues to private players and the local governments. Means to run the smart city, we need the funds, and where the fund will be generated, this has become a parallel focus area. Pan city projects means the entire city projects. This accounts for about only 20% of the total smart city investment. So the Pune has ICT based, means information and communication technology based, less is more solution as part of its Pan city initiative. A total of 19 solutions based on 3 themes: smart public transport, intelligent traffic system, and equitable distribution of water. These solutions are being made through ICT solutions. Nagpur proposes to customize ICT-based smart Swachh city solution to streamline the city's garbage management based on the mission of a clean city. It has also invested in a Nagpur city community network and a unified operations command and control center to operationalize. Planned housing interventions in the smart city proposals. Planned interventions related to the housing in most of the smart city proposals are limited. Means in larger way, smart cities are not going to intervene in the housing sector. They are limited to slum upgrading, redevelopment, rehabilitation, and providing affordable, inclusive housing, creating slum-free cities under the scheme of Housing for All 2022, ensuring at least 15% reservations for economically weaker section in the affordable housing sector, and constructing hostels for working women. Now, just to see the developments in some smart cities, Gwalior has several historical and heritage sites, and they are being restored and redeveloped at the cost of 2,500 crores. The redevelopment is part of Gwalior Smart City Development Corporation's initiative to develop cities' infrastructure and making it environment friendly. The development of a 9 megawatt solar park installation of solar panels on rooftop of 79 government buildings, and subsidies for installing rooftop solar panels on houses. It has resulted in the city becoming the first smart city to operate on 100% renewable energy during daytime. So these are the developments. Agra, again, municipal corporation has planned to beautify 62 parks in the city at a cost of 11.5 crores and plant 5,000 trees of various species under the mission. Jaipur Smart City Limited has planned to develop a night bazaar operating between 9 p.m. and midnight with almost 700 vendors to revitalize urban public space and generate economic activity for urban poor. Jabalpur Smart City Limited has built and is operating a waste to energy plant for disposal of municipal solid waste for the 79 wards of Jabalpur Municipal Corporation through a garbage collection and management system to ensure optimal collection, transportation, processing, and disposal of waste. Model is based on collection and transportation of municipal solid waste using ICT components and integrating them into one system. Door-to-door collection has resulted in the efficient collection of waste, reduced littering, and the improvement in the overall environmental situation of the city. With an aim to provide adequate sanitation facility to urban poor of the city, Kakinada Municipal Corporation has constructed 508 individual toilets in the slum area in the city. As a result, waterborne diseases in the area has reduced, especially benefiting the women as they do not need to practice open defecation. The project has contributed to Kakinada being judged as the cleanest city in 2 to 10 lakh population category in South India under Swachh Sarvekshan Awards 2017. Now, children's initiative in Bhubaneswar is also interesting to know. Children-friendly smart cities project. It was launched in Bhubaneswar by National Institute of Urban Affairs in partnership with the Bernard Van Leer Foundation and aims to address the needs of the children in comprehensive manner through the lens of urban planner and designer. The initiative focuses on areas of public health, safety and security, transportation mobility, living conditions, and specifically targets the sustainable development in settlements in the city to convert them into a child-friendly neighborhood. Bhubaneswar's Urban Knowledge Center and Child-Friendly City Initiative is very much appreciated in all smart city missions all over the India. Some smart cities like Andhra Pradesh, Bihar, Goa, Gujarat, Haryana, Himachal Pradesh, Karnataka, Kerala, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Nagaland, Punjab, Rajasthan, Tamil Nadu, Tripura, Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand, West Bengal, Chandigarh, Daman and Diu, Delhi, and Puducherry have made compulsory provision in their building bylaws to make installation of rooftop solar water harvesting system mandatory. Our Chhattisgarh has also adopted the same with their Bhumi Vikas Adhiniyam. So, looking to all these scenarios, I have a conclusion that making cities smart will take time and effort that will to produce the proper result. It is critical to create an enabling policy and regulatory environment. Because unless the policy will be created and will be enabled and regulatory environment will function properly, the results will not be replicated, neither it can be promoted as a foolproof. Many countries presently world over, they are interested in partnering with Indian firms on our smart city ventures. And we know that the foreign investment is very crucial and required. However, our cities need to be empowered and capacitated. Means our city must have a capacity to decide on the specific aspect to invest upon, where to invest, where to refrain, along with the modalities and timing of of that investment. So this is a very professional decision that cities should come forward, not only replicating others, but with their own judgment, their regulatory bodies, and the people's participation. They have to be smart before their city becomes smart to intervene in implementation of the schemes, rather enabling the policies at city level, which is good for them and which is bad for them. Because it is not idealized condition that we sitting as an ideal person and as a passive person will get all the benefits. So it is the necessity to be active all the time, because ultimately the resources, means the money going to be spent on the schemes or on the facilities, that belongs to us, that belongs to our country's money. So the proper awareness about what is going on and what is best rest on the people of the city or the population of the city, and especially in the shoulders of the engineers, because either they are involved as implementer, or policymaker, designer, enabler, technologist, and they are the catalyst to all the future developments. So I believe the engineers must be ready to be attentive in all this smart city mission and put their best, their suggestions, and their active participation to make this dream come true for our country. The smart city mission requires improved mechanisms for project selection and delivery, as well as overall monitoring and implementation framework, in order to assess the progress and realization of targets and goals. In the absence of a comprehensive assessment mechanism, it is difficult to understand what the mission is achieving and how it is achieving. So it is my earnest request to all the listeners here, who are the Gurujans, the scholars, and future of this country. I have suggested some of the references here, where I have studied it with the different documents, feedbacks, some criticisms, some applauses, and listed here. I think these sites are very useful, not only for the knowing about a smart city. Any action by a young engineer, any innovation, any disruptive technology, no one knows how it can change the future. A small citation I would like to present here. In 1856, one gentleman, one scientist turned engineer called Otis, he invented in the world vertical transporting system, means anything including people, person, and material can be transported to upper floors without climbing in a stair. It was just a invention of a machine, but that invention has paved the way for a multi-storied built form of the structure or multi-storied building. Now everyone will appreciate that if the vertical transportation system could not have been invented, what would have been the shape of the present world for us, and what would have the development for our society and the all over world. So this is a very small thing, has a very large impact internationally for everyone, all stakeholders, users, promoters, developers, designers. And of course, these multi-storied buildings have brought about many challenges in the field of civil engineering, architecture, and now associating the all concerned core engineering, mechanical, electrical, information technology, whatnot. So such small things can happen anytime. So my earnest request and advice to all youngsters and all my respected teachers of the colleges, faculties of the colleges, professors of the colleges, to make their students or to make them enable or develop within them a courage to ask questions, courage to give feedbacks, because asking a question is the only way to learn, and we always learn from the previous failure. So unless we have inquisitiveness to ask questions, our knowledge will be limited to a particular domain, and it can be easily forgotten. So it is necessary that we have to encourage within ourselves, our fraternity, to ask questions, be it a senior, junior, or anyone. So I thank all the listeners, particularly to students community, and I thank Principal Dr. B.S. Chawla sir, Dr. M.L. Agarwal sir, their civil department, organizers, and giving me the time to address such an august gathering, and all the participants from all over India, and maybe someone from the international border. So I thank everyone. I have put my thoughts, my collection in the form of slide. It is not a last word. This is just an opinion. And I expect that the people who are participating in this talk, they will have their own thinking, their own decisions, their own analysis, and they will come out with better suggestions to their respective cities and local areas, to the government and authorities. So I thank everyone. Many thanks.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for this informative and interactive session. You rightly mentioned that the purpose of the Smart Cities mission is to drive economic growth and improve the quality of life of people by enabling local area development and harnessing technology, especially technology that leads to smart outcomes. Now, moving forward, I request all the participants to join the discussion and ask the question. They can either raise hands or post a question in a WhatsApp group. So please go ahead. If there is any query, kindly unmute yourself and ask the question. I can see one hand raised. Please ask the question, sir. If there is any other queries, participants can write their question in WhatsApp group.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Any question, ma'am?
So far, no, sir. There is one hand raised. I can see that. Please, sir, go ahead and ask your question. So thank you so much, sir, for being part of this event. And
Thank you, ma'am.
thank you so much, sir. It was really an informative and interactive session. Thank you so much for that. And I want to extend my generous thanks to Shri Ravindra Prakash Kesharwani. I want to thank him for giving his vital time from his busy schedule to grace this occasion. I thank you for sharing with us his graceful opinion. Thank you so much, sir.
Thanks, ma'am, and thanks to organizers, everyone in
Thanks.
Bilaspur Engineering College especially. My heartfelt thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Ravin sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank
for
you.
this
Thank you very much,
opportunity.
sir.